From a single Italian training tank to modern Leopard beasts, this is the complete story of Danish armor. World War I neutrality, HTK armored car concept, 1917. The Danish Army Technical Corps sketched up their first armored vehicle design. It went absolutely nowhere due to lack of funds, but showed Denmark was paying attention to this new weapon. Interwar period and first experiments, Fiat 3000, Modello 21. In 1928, Denmark bought exactly one Italian light tank for evaluation. One tank, total. It was practically never used, and mostly sat gathering dust as a symbol of military budget struggles. FP1 and FP2 armored cars, 1931. Denmark's first homemade armored vehicles. These domestically built armored cars kicked off a modest testing program, proving Danish engineers could build something on their own. Vickers Carden Lloyd patrol tank, 1932. Two of these British tankettes arrived for testing. They performed terribly, couldn't steer on roads, and tracks fell off constantly. Despite this disaster, Denmark bought them anyway, because they were cheap. Landsverk L185 armored car, 1933. Excellent Swedish-built armored cars designed to Danish specifications. These vehicles actually worked well and gave the Danish Army some real armored capability. Landsverk Lynx armored car, 1939. Denmark ordered 18 of these modern Swedish armored cars. Only 3 arrived before World War II exploded. The rest never delivered. ADSK Baby Scout car, a diminutive scout car that looked suspiciously similar to German designs. Tiny, quirky, and barely armed for its scouting role. ADMK Mulus Wheel Cum Track Carrier. This bizarre machine could run on either tracks or road wheels stored at the rear. A strange hybrid that never quite found its purpose. World War II German occupation, April 1940. Denmark capitulated almost immediately when Germany invaded. The handful of armored vehicles Denmark owned saw no action. The Danish government adopted a cooperative policy, effectively becoming a puppet state. Holger Danske Phi 3 armored car, 1945. Built by the Danish resistance near war's end. A improvised armored vehicle on a Ford truck chassis, named as a joke against German V-1 and V-2 rockets. Rough, ready, and rebellious. Post-war and NATO-era M4, Sherman M4A3, early 1950s. Denmark's first real battle tank, received through American weapons aid after joining NATO in 1949. The legendary Allied workhorse finally gave Denmark proper armored firepower. M24 Chaffee light tank, 1953-1954. 67 of these reconnaissance tanks arrived from American and British stocks. Fast, reliable, and perfect for scouting. Served alongside Shermans until 1962, fully retired in 1975. M10 Achilles tank destroyer, 1955. 48 used British Achilles arrived, featuring the powerful 17-pounder gun. Based on Sherman chassis, but specialized for hunting tanks. Officially stayed in local defense units until 1989. Centurion Mk3, 1953. The backbone arrives. Denmark received these British main battle tanks through American military aid programs. Some allegedly saw combat in Korea before reaching Denmark. This monster would define Danish armor for 3 decades. Centurion Mk5, 1954. An upgraded version replacing the Besa machine gun with a Browning. Added a 12.7mm turret-mounted heavy machine gun in 1959 for better firepower. Centurion Mk2, 1964. 106 tanks received the British 105mm L7A1 gun. The German MG62 replaced the Browning. This upgrade kept the Centurion competitive against modern threats. Centurion with Danish upgrades, 1973 onward. Danish industry got involved. Vardestolfabrik produced custom tracks. 90 tanks received laser rangefinders and night vision equipment. Danish modifications kept these British workhorses fighting fit. Cold War expansion M41 Walker Bulldog series, 1962. These agile American reconnaissance tanks replaced the aging M24 Chaffee. Fast, punchy, and crew-friendly, became a favorite for reconnaissance missions across the Danish forces. Leopard 1A3, 1976-1978. The first modern German tanks arrive. 120 Leopard 1A3s purchased from Krauss-Maffei replaced half of Denmark's Centurion fleet. These sleek German cats brought cutting-edge technology to Danish armor. Leopard 1A3 additional purchase, early 1990s. After the Cold War ended, Denmark grabbed 100 Leopard 1A3 and 10 Leopard 1A4 tanks from surplus German stocks. Smart shopping for bargain armored power. Leopard 1A5 DK, 1992-1993. All Danish Leopard 1 tanks upgraded to this standard. Featured welded turrets with spaced armor and wedge-shaped gun mantlets. A comprehensive modernization program. Leopard 1A5 DK-1, mid-1990s. 35 tanks heading to Bosnia received special upgrades. Air conditioning, fire suppression systems, Honda generators, and searchlights salvaged from decommissioned M41s. Combat ready for peacekeeping. Modern Combat Experience Operation Bøllebank, April 29, 1994. 7 white-painted Danish Leopard 1A5 tanks engaged Bosnian Serb forces near Tuzla. First hostile combat for Leopard 1 tanks ever. No Danish casualties, estimated 150 Serbian casualties. A fierce firefight that became legend. Operation Amanda, October 25, 1994. 3 Danish Leopard 1 tanks confronted a Bosnian Serb T-55. 1 Leopard took slight damage. All 3 returned fire and destroyed the T-55 plus a recoilless rifle. Danish precision in action. Leopard 2A4, 1998. Denmark purchased 51 ex-German Leopard 2A4 tanks based on Swedish Army trial recommendations. The first deliveries arrived in 1998, bringing third-generation firepower to Danish forces. Leopard 2A5 DK, 1999 onward. Upgrade to Leopard 2A5 standard decided immediately after Leopard 2A4 arrival. Featured angled arrow-shaped turret armor and advanced systems. Denmark was staying ahead of the curve. Additional Leopard 2A4 purchase, 2004-2006. 18 more ex-German Leopard 2 tanks acquired, 6 upgraded to Leopard 2A5 standard. Denmark was building a formidable modern tank force. Leopard 2A5 DK in Afghanistan, 2007. Danish Leopard 2A5 tanks deployed to southern Afghanistan. Drawn from the Jutland Dragoons Regiment, they provided heavy fire support for Danish infantry in some of the heaviest fighting since 1864. Combat operations, 2007-2014. Danish Leopards saw continuous action against Taliban forces. 6 tanks disabled but repaired. 1 tank lost. These Leopards proved their worth in brutal desert combat, earning praise from NATO partners. Leopard 2A5 DK retirement, 2005. All Leopard 1 variants completely retired and replaced by Leopard 2A5 DK. End of an era. The German cats fully dominated Danish armor. Leopard 2A7, 2010s. Denmark upgraded to the newest Leopard 2A7 standard. 44 tanks in inventory, representing cutting-edge main battle tank technology for the modern era. Recent developments, Leopard 1A5 DK support to Ukraine, 2023. Denmark, Germany, and the Netherlands jointly purchased approximately 100 Leopard 1A5 tanks from various stocks. 90 from Danish FFG stocks headed to Ukraine. Old Danish warriors returning to combat. Additional Ukraine support, September 2023. Denmark pledged 30 more Leopard 1 tanks to Ukraine as part of a massive $830 million aid package. Danish armor expertise supporting freedom. Current status. Denmark maintains a modern force of Leopard 2A7 tanks as part of NATO commitments. 14 deployed to Estonia for NATO-enhanced forward presence. Danish armor stands ready on NATO's eastern frontier. From a single lonely Fiat gathering dust to powerful Leopard 2A7s defending NATO's borders, Denmark transformed from reluctant observer to respected armored force. They learned from others, upgraded constantly, and when called to fight, they fought hard. This is the story of Danish armor.